Hello students, in last video we have discussed processes and communication in distributed web-based systems. In this session we will discuss naming, synchronization, consistency and replication for web proxy caching, replication for web hosting systems and replication of web applications. First one is naming. The web uses a single naming system to refer the documents. The names used are known as URI, that is Uniform Resource Identifiers. Uniform Resource Locator, that is URL, is URI that identifies a document by including information on how and where to access the documents. In other words, a URL is location dependent reference to document. In case of URL, we see that they often contain information on how and where to access documents. How to access document is generally reflected by the name of scheme that is part of URL, such as HTTP, FTP, or you can say Telnet, where document is located embedded in URL by means of the DNS name of the server to which an access request can be sent, although an IP address be used. The number of the port on which server will listening for such request is also part of URL. When left out, a default port is used. Finally, a URL also contains the name of the document to be looked up by that server. If server is referred by its DNS name, that name will need to be resolved to the server's IP address. Using port number contains in URL, the client can then contact server using protocol named by scheme and pass it document's name that forms last part of URL. Here, general structure of URLs. First one is using only DNS name. For example, here HTTP host name is www.darshan.ac.in, path name /home/comp/faculty. Second, combining DNS name with port number. Here scheme HTTP host name same www.darshan.ac.in. Here port number is 80, path name same, that is /home/comp/faculty. And third scheme, that is combining an IP address with port number. Here scheme HTTP host name, that is 130.37.24.11, then colon, then port number, that is 80, then path name, that is /home/comp/faculty. Next, synchronization. Synchronization has not been much of issue for most traditional web-based systems for two reasons. First, the strict client server organization of web, in which server never exchange information with other server, or you can say client with other clients, means that there is nothing much to synchronize. Second, here the web can be considered as being a read-mostly system. Here updates are generally done by single person or entity and hardly ever introduce write-to-write conflicts. However, things are changing. For example, there is an increasing demand to provide support for collaborative authoring of documents. In other words, The web should provide support for concurrent updates or document by group of collaborating users of process. Here, distributed authoring of web documents is handled through separate protocol that is namely WebDAV, WEBDAV. WebDAV stands for Web Distributed Authoring and Versioning. It provides simple means to lock said documents and create, delete, copy and move documents from remote web server. To synchronize concurrent access to shared documents, WebDAV supports a simple logging mechanism. There are two types of write logs. An exclusive write logs can be assigned to single client and will prevent any other client from modifying the said document while it is logged. And second, there is also shared write log, which allows multiple clients to simultaneously update the documents. Because logging takes place here, granularity of entire document said write logs are convenient when client modify different parts of the same document. However, the clients themselves will need to take care that no write to write conflict occurs. Here, assigning a log is done by passing log token to the requesting clients. The server registers which client currently has the log token. Whenever the clients want to modify document, it sends an HTTP post request to the server along with the log token. The token shows the client has write access to the documents for which reason the server will carry out the request. Here, an important design issue is that there is no need to maintain connection between client and server while holding logs. The client can simply disconnect it from server after acquiring log and reconnect to the server when sending an HTTP request. Next, web proxy caching. Client-side caching generally occurs at two places. At first place, most browsers are equipped with simple caching facility. And second place, a client-side often runs a web proxy. Web proxy accepts the request from local clients and passes this to the web server. Here, when response comes in, the result is passed to the client. The advantage of this approach is the proxy can cache the result and return that result to another client if necessary. In other words, a web proxy can implement a shared cache. Here, in addition to caching at browsers and proxies, it is also possible to place cache that cover region or even a country, thus leading hierarchical caches. Here, such schemes are mainly used to reduce network traffic, but here disadvantage of potentially incurring a higher latency compared to using non-hierarchical schemes. This higher latency is caused by need of client to check multiple caches rather than just one in non-hierarchical scheme. As an alternative to building a hierarchical scheme, you can say hierarchical sketches. One can also organize caches for cooperative deployment as shown in figure. Here first step, first all web proxy will look in local cache. Second, if it is not present in particular document, is not present in local cache, it is asked for neighboring proxy caches. Then web proxy will forward request to web server. So this is the actual principle of cooperative caching. Next, replication for web hosting systems. There are essentially three different kinds of aspects related to replication in web hosting. First one is matrix estimation, next adaptation triggering, and next adjustment measures. First one is matrix estimation. An interesting aspect of CDN, that is known as content delivery networks, is that they need to make trade-off between many aspects when it comes to hosting replicated documents. By and large, there are many proposals for estimating how a well CDN is performing. First one is latency matrix. Latency matrix by which the time is measured for an action, for example, fetching a document to take place. Trivial as this may seem, estimating latency become difficult when, for example, a process deciding on placement of replicas needs to know the delay between client and some servers. Instead of estimating latency, it may be more important to measure the available bandwidth between two nodes. This information is particularly important when large documents need to be transferred, as in that case responsiveness of systems is largely, you can say, largely by the time that document can be transferred. Another class consists of spatial matrix, which mainly consists of measuring the distance between nodes in terms of number of network level routing hops or hops between autonomous systems. Again, determining the number of hops between arbitrary nodes can be very difficult and may not even correlate with latency. Third class, that is network usage matrix, which computes consumed bandwidth in terms of number of bytes to transfer, generally easy. However, to do this correctly, we need to take into account how often the document is read, how often it is updated, and how often it is replicated. Next, consistency matrix. Consistency matrix tell us to what extent a replica is deviating from its master copy. And finally, financial matrix from another class for measuring how well CDN is doing, although not technical at all. Consider that most CDN are operates on commercial basis. It is clear that in many cases financial metrics will be decisive. Moreover, financial metrics are closely related to actual infrastructure of internet. For example, most commercial CDNs place servers at edge of internet, meaning that they hire capacity from ISPs directly servicing an user. Next, adoption triggering. Another question that needs to be addressed is when and how adoptions are to be triggered. A simple model is to periodically estimate metrics and subsequently takes measures as needed. This approach is often seen in practice. Special process located at the servers collect information and periodically check for changes. Here major drawback of periodical evaluation is that sudden changes may be missed. One type of sudden changes that is receiving considerable attention is that of flash crowds. Here a flash crowds is sudden burst in request for specific web documents. Next, adjustment measures. As mentioned, there are essentially only three relate measures that can be taken to change the behavior of web hosting systems. First one is changing the placement of replicas. Next, changing consistency enforcement, and next, deciding on how and when to redirect client's request. Here, basic idea is that each web document consists of main HTML or XML pages in which several other documents such as image, video or audio have been embedded. To display the entire document, it is necessary that the embedded documents are fetched by the user's browser as well. Next, replication of web applications. Up to this point, we have mainly concentrated on catching and replicating static web content. In practice, we see that the web is increasingly offering more dynamically generated content, but here that is also expanding toward offering services that can be known as remote application. When considering improving performance of web application through caching and replication. First, to improve performance, we can decide to apply full replication of data stored at origin server. This scheme works well whenever the updates ratio is low, when queries require an extensive database search. As mentioned above, we assume that all updates are carried out at origin server, which take responsibility for keeping the replicas and edge server in consistent state. Read operation can take place at the edge server. Here we see that replicating for performance will fail when the update ratio is high, as each update will occur communication over wide area network to bring replicas into consistent state. Another case for full replication is when queries are generally complex. Here, opposed to complex queries are simple that generally require access to only a single table in order to produce response. In later case, partial replication by which only a subset of data is stored at edge server. Here, the problem with partial replication is that it may be very difficult to manually decide which data is need to at edge server. Here replication of web applications. Here is edge server side, here is original server side, client and server, here is database, here database copy, behind, content blind cache, content aware cache, first query generated, server to edge server to original server, then response from original server to edge server, then full, or okay, you can say partial data replication, then last full schema replication or query templates. So here alternatives for caching and replication with web application. Thank you.